to, um, you gotta be willing to pick up a gun of some sort and, 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 and be ready to pull a trigger in the name of the country, which, mind you, already has a history of a whole lot of things unsavory.
Like that.
I hear you. I definitely, respect that opinion. I think that's a very respectable, thing, right? But I will tell you, right, when you're talking about discipline, right, everybody has discipline in them. It's just the amount, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build that and build upon what you already have, right? And make you a better person, essentially, if that makes sense, right? And then, as far as picking up a gun, right, you're right. Every Marine does pick up a weapon. Every Marine is a rifleman, factual, right? But how many actually end up pointing that at someone else and pulling that, right? I'd say very few. So with the Marine Corps, right, we have a plethora of jobs. And there's one job, right, there's the infantry. And then every other job other than the infantry is made to support the infantry, right? So for the most part, we won't be in those positions where we'll have to do something like that, right? But again, usually if it does get to that point, it's you defending yourself because the enemy is coming with you, right? And, I understand not wanting to, but you got the guys to your left and right that you have to think about at that point in time, right? And usually it's worth that at that point, right? If it comes to that, right? I've been in for 8 years and I've never had to do that, ever, right? And I've been to several places where, there definitely have been tension. And I haven't had to worry about that, not one bit. Another thing, right, you will go to the range yearly, so you'll become proficient with that weapon, if that is another thing that you might be worried about. Right, but again, those values are core values, right? We really build on that and instill them into you, so if that is something you're worried about, that's something that we can work on, of course. All right, what else are you worried about?
Hey, Jess, I have a question for you now.
What's up?
Aren't you perhaps willing to give your life to the Lord Jesus Christ, Savior? Would you like to give your life to Christ?
I'm in the middle of selling right now.
No,
You're kinda
I'm in the
like-
middle of selling too. I'm just saying you want to, we just want to see, you probably want to,
Sell for sale.
be saved, or get like to the Lord. And,
I've always been saved.
oh,
Hallelujah.
I was at your house. Okay.
Praise break.
Well, how do you feel? What were you saying about how you felt about service? I think that Evan is sold.
I mean, yeah, like to that, to Josh's points, like you said, how do you feel about that now? Like you had doubts about holding a gun or pointing a gun at someone or shooting a gun in the name of your country, but he said a lot of times you don't find yourself in that position. Like 8 years, that's a long time, and he hasn't had to point a gun at a single person.
Okay, it's not just picking up a gun and killing a person.
Mm-hmm. But it's,
For me, it's having to be away from home a lot, and I'm not ready to be away from home for a long time yet. I already went through that like a couple months ago. I was gone for 2 weeks.
Belize, right?
Yes.
Money man.
I'm not fully ready to not fully ready to hop
disengaged.
to not fully ready to hop to and from one place to another. I don't mind going somewhere and then coming back, but then we'll need like some time to like settle back in before I want to do so again. Be it that place or a different place. If I'm going across the board, I want to do it on my own terms, at my own pace.
At your own pace.
I respect that.
Yeah.
And what if I told you that you could do that? What if I told you there was an option that would allow you to stay at home, and if an opportunity did arise to travel the world with the Marine Corps, if you wanted to, you could take it, and if you didn't have to. How would that make you feel?
So,
Okay.
what did? Because we're going on mission, then don't make it less enjoyable.
So we have what's called the Marine Corps Reserves, right? So what does that do? It's basically a program that allows you to go to recruit training, right? After you go to recruit training, you'll get 10 days of recruit leave, right? That's 10 days, you'll come back home, relax. Once those 10 days are up, then you'll go to your the combat training, right? That's where you'll, learn how to do things in the field, right? That's usually a month long. As soon as that's done, then you're just gonna go back home, relax for a little bit more, and then you're gonna go to your occupational specialty school. So basically whatever your job is, right? That can vary, of course, job dependent, how long that is, right? And as soon as you're done with all that, you go back home. That's it. So you're a Marine on 24/7, right? You're a Marine all the time. But you only wear your uniform and show up 2 days a month. Other than that, you're doing whatever else you want, right? And you'll have almost the exact same benefits that an active duty member like myself would have. It's excellent. And a lot of people choose that. A lot of people, they set themselves up, they have a good job, they want to stay near family, but they also want to be a Marine. And we facilitate that with the reserve program.
So why aren't people of reserves more often? Why don't they pick that more often?
They are paid very often. The reserve is probably, I'd say, harder to get in than active duty. Active duty, awesome. Come on. Reserve, right? We have to find out what school you'd like, right? And we have to set that aside because reservists only go at certain times. And that's the biggest thing, really. They ship out at a different time than active duty, but we all go to the same boot camp. We all go to the same school and everything. It's just when all that's said and done, they check in to their unit and then go home like nothing happened. And then they'll give you the schedule for the entire year for when you're going to come into that unit. And then, if something does come up, right? Let's say you can't make one of the weekends, right? They will work with you. They'll be like, okay, you can't make this day. All right, how about the next day? Is that good for you? Right?
So they work with your schedule.
I'm almost ready to join.
You gonna ship off?
I ain't
Nah,
gonna
I heard you withdrew that real quick.
be quiet.
But you did 8 years.
Yep, that'll be 9 in a few months.
How would you say your beginning experience was?
In the beginning, I'd say,
What did you expect at first? Like, first, what were you expecting, and then what was the beginning like?
what did I expect? Like, as far as what? Like, out of the Marine Corps in
Like,
general?
when you're going in and you're like, me, I'm gonna go, listen to the Marines. What was your expectation then? And then you get in like a couple months in, and then like, what was the difference between what you expected and what you actually experienced? You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, so originally when I was enlisting, my experience was I'm going to graduate boot camp, I'm going to go to Marine combat training, and then I want to go to Afghanistan. That was my initial thoughts and how everything was going. It seemed like it was going to go that well. However, once you get to boot camp though, everything kind of shifts, right? At that point, you're not thinking I. They shift your mindset to us and we,
I see.
right? So that was something that I expected, but I didn't expect it to be so heavily relied upon. One of the reasons that I joined was for pride of belonging, right? I wanted camaraderie, I wanted brotherhood.
Yeah.
And I found that in recruit training. So all those 13 weeks, right? I mean, you just meet guys from all over the world. You shower with them, you get destroyed with them, you
Right.
eat with them, and y'all really build that, right? And then, I was like, I'd go fight for these guys. I'd go fight with these guys,
Right.
Easy day. And then after that, you go on leave for your 10 days. Excuse me. So I didn't know about the 10-day leave thing. Honestly, I didn't know I was getting paid. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't ask about any money or anything like that. But the entire time I was getting paid. I didn't know that. They gave me a card at the end, and they were like, "Hey," or not at the end. They gave me a card in the middle of it, and they were like, "Yep, this is your money. You're earning money right now." And I was just like, "That's really cool."
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Right.
I didn't care at the time. I was just like, "Can I go to Afghanistan?"
You was already in motion, like all that training and everything.
Yeah.
You didn't even think about the money.
Yeah, and you know, we had our boot leave, and they were like, "Yep, everybody go home, do whatever, be back in Camp Pendleton in 10 days to check in your alphas." And I was like, I don't really want to go home, so I stayed in Cali. Went over to Orange County and just enjoyed myself with one of my friends. I stayed with one of the guys that I was in boot camp with.
Right.
And his family was super cool, super welcome, come on, you know, anytime they celebrated him, I would celebrate it right next to him. And I thought,
That's dope.
I met this guy 13 weeks ago, and I'm with his family now.
That's great.
And we're just chopping it up.
Cool.
That's dope.
Damn.
You know, so, and that's a experience that I've had the entire time that I've been in, right? People that I've barely met welcoming me into their homes, and I'm just, like, I mean,
I think you want the camaraderie, you want the brotherhood.
it's there.
And that's exactly what you got. You know,
Exactly
do
right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, then I checked in, we went to combat training, Marine combat training, right? It's a month long, super fun,
Mhm.
right? You're mostly in the field with your homies. That's literally all it is. You're doing dumb stuff in the field with your homies. You're hiking, learning different weapon systems, sleeping outside. That's about it. It's a great time.
Yeah.
Um,
Camping with the homies.
camping with the homies for a month.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a
Um,
question.
Yeah, what's up?
How were you approached, and what sold it for you?
That's a great question. I get that sometimes, actually. So high school, when I was living with my Tia Joy and Tia Tina, I didn't have a lot of friends. In fact, you could say I didn't have any at that school. I was like my maybe third or fourth high school at the time, so I was still trying to blend in and everything, figure out where I was. It was lunchtime. I was sitting at the lunch table by myself, and I was just looking around, and it's so funny thinking about it, because now I'm in that position,
Mm-hmm.
right? I looked at the recruiter, and I was like, man, he looks good. I looked at him for about 4 seconds,
Right.
and then he made eye contact with me for 4 seconds, and then after that, I was like, oh no, I gotta look away.
Right.
I looked away,
Me.
and he came over and he sat down in front of me, and he was like, hey man, you like what you see? You like the uniform? I was like, yeah. He's like, what do you got going on? He talked to me, right? And he listened a lot.
Mm.
He listened a lot, and he was like rephrasing things I was saying, making sure he understood what I was saying, right? And then he was like, well, yeah man, you know, you can come in, we can talk. And I was like, I don't know, I'm not really that, like, yada 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 or anything. He was like, you know what, I got something for you, man. He said, next time you're walking in the hallways in school, I want you to look up. Because he'd noticed me before, he just didn't speak to me then. He was like, I want you to look up, right? And I was like, what is this guy talking about? I look up all the time. And I was like, whatever. I'm walking to class, and I finally, like, I don't know, it's kind of like I broke out of the matrix, right? I was looking down, going to class. I memorized where all my classes were, I sped walked, and I was looking at people's feet.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking up.
Yeah, let's get
And I finally looked up, and I was like, I don't know what it was. It was so
Something
normal,
woke you up.
and I was like, wow,
Mm.
I can see now. And I really don't understand it myself.
Mm. That's great.
But that was when I was like, I'm gonna go into his office and I'm gonna talk to him.
It's like you planted a seed.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. I could say that.
Especially like that. Like you see the Matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you like see when he's talking to him,
Right.
and like everybody's moving like real at a different speed around him,
Yep.
and he's just like letting them know that like, hey, you can still stay asleep, but look around you. The whole world is asleep.
Exactly.
They're in a particular mind state, but if you wake up, you could be in a different mind state.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Be different, but you are the one. You know what I'm saying? And that waking moment was for you. It was simple as just lifting your head up.
Right.
That's all you did was lift your head up. It wasn't like you looked all the way to the freaking sky. Like you just went from here to here, and something clicked for you.
Yeah. I thought that was amazing. I was like,
That's deep.
okay.
That's deep. It sounds like that's like where you were supposed to go, for real.
Yeah.
Like where you was destined.
I always felt like I was gonna join the military.
Yeah.
Um,
Let me tell you, I'm proud of you. Like real talk. Like, it looks good on you, brother. You know what I'm saying? You owned up 8 years, ain't no pump for nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying it was hard all the way through or whatever, but like, it's a dedication and a commitment that she make to it. I'm trying to gas him up right now, bro. Like,